Humans are after all greedy persons from the Ushio and Tora episode 10, which shows a perfect example on how far greed can go to people. After all, everybody wants the perfect life, and what they fear most is losing that because they don't know what to do after that. You, me, everyone else fear that, and this episode is a perfect example of that. It starts off with Uchiho bathing in the... Well, technically no, it doesn't start with that. It starts with the temple people deciding they will monitoring Uchiho to see if he really is worthy of becoming the beast spear's wielder, because the because according to the old lady who is the matriarch of that culture, says that anyone who do wield the spear are destined to be chosen by it. So they decide to monitor him to see him do it. It then starts off Lucio bathing in a lake and seeing a beautiful silver-haired or white-haired girl. Later on he meets that girl again on the streets where she has collapsed. Turns out that she is also a person that can see a yokai. In fact, she's a medium, so to speak. Her family's household is rich and prosper, but only because many centuries ago they trapped a god of fortune and power, where as long as it's around the person, it will bring fortune and good luck and power, but if it leaves, it will bring disaster and everything else. The name of that god was Omamori-sama, but that was the name she has currently. Sayo is a white-haired lady who is meant to console the fortune god, whose real name is Sakiwarashi-sama. She takes the form out of a young woman, well, almost like a child. She's the size of a child, speaks manly, and well, no, she doesn't really speak manly, but she looks like a child, although all yokai are older than they look. But it's obvious she's a young woman who is very small in stature. Long ago, this fortune god Umamori have wanted to go outside because she's trapped with a powerful barrier. But the family household forbids that, and Sayo is her only friend. She has been tasked with, as I said before, she's tasked with consoling the fortune god, as has her mother and her ancestors before her. But all of these white-haired women die young because of sickness, because it takes a lot of stamina doing that, and also because, well, her family household are greedy. Her grandmother and her father are downright abusive. So she brings Ushio to the place where Tora reveals that if Ushio do cut the barrier, the immense output of energy would kill the fortune god. It is then that Saya's father appears to try to kill Ushio to prevent this, revealing that long ago he was threatened by the fortune god that a spear beast wielder or a spear wielding opponent will cut the barrier. Tora, once again a bit moved by these situations, goes inside the barrier, despite the fact that he himself is a yokai, to shield the fortune god, as Sayo are afraid of cutting down the barrier because she hates she dislikes her household, but she also loved her mother and her motherly ancestors, saying that fortune god is the only proof that she lived. But eventually Sayu says that her household has had enough fortune for so many centuries and have done enough disaster for one person, for one god, so to speak. So she gives Ushio permission and he cuts down the barrier, therefore sending a massive output of energy that frees the fortune god. And for now forever, Sayu's household will be down to doing poverty. But Sayu resolves to find her path and become strong, just like Ushio. As Tora drags Ushio away, it reveals that the fortune god has not left Sayu's side, saying she will stay with her for at least a bit longer. This is basically this episode. Last week episode shows how far madness or grief can take a person. This one shows how far greed for centuries and possessions can do to a person. It's really heartbreaking to see such abusive parents and grandmother. Parent and grandmother. But all in all, it was an okay episode. Give me your thoughts if you have any.